In the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the team is currently split as to what to do. Leonardo and Splinter want to stop Shredder now that they've returned to New York by making their allies. But it's Donatello who is concerned with the interdimensional invaders led by Krang the Conqueror. This is Comicstorian. I read you audio dramas of your favorite comic books. I cut down on the panels and B-plots to give you the core of the storyline, while avoiding copyright problems and allowing you to go to your local comic book store and buy the comics yourself and start your own amazing collection and have great artwork and story to discover. Don't forget to check out one of our sponsors, Shortboxed, if you want to go ahead and start your own collection. It's a great app to help you get CGC-graded comic books. Now today we're going to be covering Volume 11 of the TMNT storyline. All the previous stories are linked down below, and if you enjoyed the Turtles, let me know which of the Turtles is your favorite. Somewhere in the Atlantic, aboard the luxury yacht of Krang, Shredder stands before the extra-dimensional being, the alien questioning why Shredder would ask for a meeting, but motioning him to the bridge. "I'm curious. What could you possibly offer me?" Krang asks as they both have a seat. But Shredder shakes his head, instead offering the foot as a means of protection on Burnow Island, the place where Krang has been building the Technodrome. Krang pauses as he looks at the ninja master, then breaks out laughing. "You would actually call a meeting on my ship, take up my valuable time, just to talk about my property?" Krang asks, offering the chance for Shredder to explain himself before he is killed. And Shredder nods, telling Krang how he has become aware of the new technologies that he is creating in the Technodrome, and how he has already used the ooze to create fascinating hybrids. Krang explains that his ooze is closely guarded, and that he has already set plans into motion that will allow him to become the sole ruler of the planet. "You actually believe that you can rule this world? You must realize this planet will never accept an alien as its leader, no matter what your grand plan of conquest may be," Shredder tells him, offering himself and the Foot Clan as allies. "We will offer humanity a leadership that they will respect and understand, and we can provide protection your people will require in this new world," he says, but Krang finally stands. "Well, you sold yourself on your little delusion, Shredder. This is where my patience reaches its end, I'm afraid." Standing up, he lashes out quickly, punching a hole through Shredder's chest. The clan leader's eyes widen in shock before he falls to the table, the rest of his soldiers raising their weapons, asking what to do with the Foot Clan ninjas. "Send them to join their departed leader," Krang says as he waves his hand, pulling Shredder's helmet off. One of the ninjas speak, and Krang looks in shock at Shredder's voice. "No need, General," Shredder says, holding up a detonator. The helmet begins to beep, and Shredder, as one of the ninjas, turns running to the bridge as it explodes behind him, his decoy now dead. He leaps onto the deck, ordering his men to ready the helicopter. But Krang steps out of the smoke of the bridge, firing a missile from his wrist cannon. The helicopter explodes, showering Shredder with debris that tears through his uniform. He stands up, drawing his sword as he turns back to Krang and his soldiers. "As you Earthlings would say, you should never bring a knife to a gunfight," Krang calls out to his soldiers as they raise their weapons, but Shredder smiles. "Really, General, you of all people should know. Every good tactician retains options in a battle. Prepare to meet mine. Bludgeon, Koya, come to me," he says with a smile, and from the ocean leaps a massive mutated shark. From the skies, a mutated hawk plummets into the soldiers of Krang, and the mutants tear through Krang's forces. Krang orders his men to fight back, turning once more to Shredder. "Come, General. It appears that we have business yet," Shredder says with a smile as he motions Krang forward. "You're a dead man!" The alien snarls, and the two villains leap at each other, colliding in battle. Bludgeon and Koya continue to cut through the alien soldiers as the two leaders are fighting it out. Krang knocking Shredder away, launching a barrage of missiles at him that the ninja manages to avoid. Shredder moving forward, ducking underneath another punch and jamming his sword into the joint on Krang's armor. He twists away, drawing his secondary sword as Krang roars in anger, rushing at him. Bludgeon continues to attack, but turns as he realizes the boat is sinking. He motions to Koya, pointing to where Krang and Shredder are fighting. Shredder ducks another attack, slicing through Krang's leg, bringing him down, moving to make a killing strike as the general prepares to shoot his cannon again. But he is suddenly scooped up by Koya and taken into the air. "I'm sorry, Master, but this battle is through," Koya tells him, and below them, Bludgeon has already leaped back into the waters below, with Krang's ship quickly sinking as the rest of the soldiers move to rescue him. "Shredder, damn you!" Krang bellows into the sky, the two mutants quickly escaping with their master. "I hope I didn't harm you when I pulled you from the battle," Koya calls out, but Shredder shakes his head, explaining to Koya that she did what was necessary. "Does this mean that we are at war with General Krang, Master?" Bludgeon asks as he pokes his head out of the waters. Shredder nods. "In truth, we always were," Shredder says as they fly back towards land. Meanwhile, back in New York, the Turtles return to their secret lair after a night of exercises and drills with Master Splinter. But as they click on the lights to their den, they're shocked to discover Slash is waiting for them. "Hey guys," the big snapping turtle says, not scared of the brothers or their weapons. The brothers aren't happy, with Donnie asking how Slash managed to get in without tripping their security. "Oh, I came in through the waterway below. I disabled the alarms as I worked my way inside," he says with a shrug as he stands, and Donnie rushes to his computer, shocked to discover that Slash is telling them the truth. "Is it just me, or is smart Slash scarier than dumb Slash?" Donnie whispers to Leo, and Slash greets Mikey, his friend, before turning back to Master Splinter. "Hob sent me to invite you to our home, Splinter. There's something important that he wants you to see." The others don't believe Slash, wondering if he's trying to lead Splinter into a trap. But their father waves off their concerns, explaining that he made a promise to Hob. "Thanks for the message, Slash. Please let Hob know we'll be there soon. We've got some things to discuss as a family first," Leo tells him, and Slash nods with Mikey helping him out. Meanwhile, across the city, Angel elbows a goon in the face, avoiding his gunfire in her nobody exosuit. "Little busy, Harold," she says in the comms as Harold continues to complain about the Turtles. "Call signs, not names! How many times do I have to tell you?" he shouts to her, and she sighs as she ducks under another attack, using her suit's grappling hook to snag a bat out of one of the goon's hands. "Oh yeah, I forgot." She kicks another goon away and uses the suit's laser cannon to slam the last into a garbage dumpster. "Sweet dreams," she says with a smile. She turns to walk away, but another of the goons begins to get back up, raising his pistol. But something flies from the shadows, slamming into the goon's face and dropping him. Harold gets on the comms again, asking if she's okay. "I'm good, but who the hell was that?" "Did the cameras catch anything?" she asks. But Harold isn't sure and tells her that she needs to return to the base so that he can check on the nobody suit. She moves off into the night, confused, unaware that Alopex is currently watching her from the rooftops. Back over in the Turtles' base, the brothers are discussing what they should do about Hob, with Splinter explaining to him that he promised to help Hob with his mutant army for his assistance in rescuing Leonardo from the Foot Clan. And it worked. So why the hell are we still wasting time with Hob? Donatello asks, but Splinter explains that Shredder is still a threat. "And the Technodrome isn't?" Donnie asks, once again mentioning the threat of Krang, the interdimensional alien. Leo agrees with him, but sides with Splinter on dealing with Shredder first. "Look, I hate the cat's guts, but having extra firepower on our side, I can't really argue against that," Raph says, siding with the others, and Donnie is shocked that the others aren't more worried about the Technodrome, pushing Splinter's hand aside when he tries to comfort his son. "I can't believe what I'm hearing!" And he moves towards the ladder to leap out of the lair. He tells the others to go ahead and play in New York with Hobbs' mutant army while he goes to try to stop the Earth from being terraformed. Of course, the family isn't happy, but Splinter tells them that they must leave soon to go and meet Hob. So a short time later, the group meets Hob in an alleyway, and he's accompanied by Slash and Dr. Lindsay. "Show us what you dragged us over here for, Hob." Raph snaps at the cat. "Look around, don't you see, Turtle?" he asks, and they glance around the alleyway, not seeing anything. "Freaking Hairball's lost it this time." Raph snorts, but Hobbs continues. And suddenly the dumpster next to them shifts and falls over, with a massive hermit crab revealing himself. Out of the shadows steps a gecko holding a skateboard, and the two of them look at the Turtles as they are introduced as Herman the Hermit Crab and Mondo Gecko. "What's up?" Mondo says as he flashes the peace sign. "Fascinating," Splinter says as he admires Herman, with Mikey geeking out over Mondo's skateboard. Hobbs nods to Dr. Lindsay, explaining to the others that they went through some pet stores and got themselves some new soldiers. Great, you got us a walking, talking trash can and a skateboarding stoner lizard. You run out of pigeons, Hob? Raph snorts, with Leo suddenly dropping down into the alleyway, and Herman reacts. A massive minigun coming out of the shell of his dumpster, with Mondo moving at lightning speed to come up behind Leo and pull out his skateboard gun. You were saying, Turtle? Hobbs says with a sneer, and he moves over, ordering his soldiers to stand down, with Leo looking very confused as he puts away the swords. Splinter turns back to the cat. So your mutant army is finally coming together. Until now, I doubted your commitment to this endeavor. Splinter says, Gotta admit, Hob, this is all a step up from that idiot pigeon. Where is the bird brain anyway? Dr. Lindsay looks around, and they explain that they sent Pete the pigeon to get them more specimens. But elsewhere in the city, Pete the pigeon is looking up at two mutants that he's talking to, trying to convince them to join the army, explaining that they have an entire army of mutants, and these turtles are prepared to join. The two big mutants that he's talking to turn to each other. Yo, what the heck? Where do we sign up? Bebop says with a smile as he turns to Rocksteady. The next morning, Mikey is making breakfast while Raph sits in the corner lifting weights. How do you guys like your eggs? Mikey says as he juggles. I don't know why you waste your time asking, Mikey. It always ends up scrambled with burnt toast. Mikey is surprised that Raph would say that, but he turns back as the toast pops burnt, and he drops the eggs to the floor. Scrambled it, Mikey says sheepishly, with Leo coming in asking if anyone has seen Donnie. Nah, he left as soon as he woke up. I think he said he was going to go see Harold. Splinter enters the kitchen telling his sons that they can't wait for Donatello and they must continue with the task of defeating Shredder. I've set up another meeting with Old Hob tonight for that very purpose. Meanwhile, over at Harold's, Angel is looking over last night's footage, shocked that whoever helped her didn't even appear on the camera. The bell rings and Donnie is let in. He greets the others and is shocked when they are working on the exosuit and not Harold's teleporter. Anger fills Donnie as he sees another group not concerned about Krang and the terraforming of Earth. You guys do realize that Krang's got some of the best minds in 2 dimensions working around the clock to finish the Technodrome. But instead of working on the teleporter, the one thing that we can use to stop Krang, you're wasting your time watching stupid videos and tinkering with helmets and robots? What the hell are you thinking? Donnie shouts at them and Harold gets angry but finally turns and stomps to the teleporter. Angel tries to defend Harold, explaining to Donnie that Harold's been busting his ass on everything, trying to fix all of it. Donnie realizes that he snapped and he tries to make amends with Harold, but doesn't really go over well, so he leaves him to work on Metalhead. So later that night, Angel walks out of her dad's bar, calling out to him to have a good night. But coming out of the shadows is Alopex. You! I thought you were going to stay in Northampton, Alopex! Angel says, prepared to fight, and the mutant fox nods. I did. I'm back now, she says simply, with Angel lowering her weapons as something dawns on her. Wait a second, that was you last night, wasn't it? Helping against those goons? Yeah, and now I need some help from you, she says, explaining that she thinks the turtles are headed into trouble. I think Bebop and Rocksteady are planning an ambush against the turtles. They're going to need help, and there's no way I can do it alone, she says, and Angel interrupts her, explaining that the turtles are family, and that she's in. The two shake hands, beginning their preparations. Elsewhere, the Turtles and Splinter meet up with Old Hob again. Hobbs wants to know what's going on, and Splinter explains that they need to discuss how they're going to handle Shredder. That it's time to push this army against them. But at that moment, they hear somebody coming around the corner. Pete the Pigeon. Hey everyone, I brought friends, he says with pure joy and happiness as Bebop and Rocksteady follow him around the corner. Looks like we're crashing the right Fiesta, Rock, Bebop says with a laugh. You gotta be kidding me, Raph grumbles, and the turtles pull out their weapons as Hobbs moves forward, trying to shout at Pete. But before the fight can even begin, the old cat pulls out a pistol, firing into the air. Look at you idiots! We got a whole damn world against us, and all you bunch can do is bang your heads against each other. Mutants fighting mutants! How freaking pathetic is that? He turns to Bebop and Rocksteady, asking them why they would want to be in Shredder's army. Why be lackeys when they could just join the mutant army? It just makes sense that you would join the biggest, baddest gang in all of New York, he says with Leo coming up behind him. Hob, I don't think this is such a good idea, he whispers to him, and the cat waves him off. Hold on, Turtle. Give us a chance to talk this out. Bebop and Rocksteady turn to talk to each other, liking the idea of joining the mutant army. They're actually considering going against Shredder. Hobbs looks at them. That's right, fellas, look at you, ready to smack down every last piece of human trash that is polluting the world, he says with a smile, but Rocksteady looks at him with surprise. Wait a second, we're half human. Hobbs looks at them in shock. Human? You're half human? He draws his weapon fast, aiming the pistol and firing it into the rhino's head, turning and then shooting Bebop in the gut. What the hell? Are you prejudiced or something? Bebop snaps. No, I'm a mutant! Hobbs snarls, turning back to his soldiers. Boys, put these mutts down! He orders them, and the mutants all shout as they charge into battle, with Bebop and Rocksteady meeting them. Rocksteady tries to hit Slash with his sledgehammer, but the massive snapping turtle turns aside the weapon with his claw. Herman and Hob are firing at Bebop, before Mondo leaps onto his back, firing into his face. But Rocksteady is there, swinging his hammer, knocking Mondo Gecko away. Herman rolls over the dumpster, providing the others with cover. Take cover! He shouts to the comrades, and above them, nobody in Alopex are looking down on the fight. This is where the trouble is, Angel notes. Uh-huh. We should probably help. The fox nods, and the turtles stand nearby, curious if they are supposed to jump in. Yes, my sons. Old Hob has helped us in the past. We are honor-bound to do the same. The rat says as they all step forward with the group of heroes surrounding the Foot Clan mutants. Back over at Harold's, the old genius turns to Donnie, asking him if he's planning on going and helping his family. But Donnie doesn't even look up from his work on Metalhead. No, I have more important things to do, he says simply. Back at the fight, Rocksteady slams his hammer down, forcing Mikey and Leo to jump back. Raph steps in front of Bebop, blocking his chainsaw with his sign. But Rocksteady moves forward, using his horn to toss a car at Michelangelo. Slash is there, though, using his body to block the blow, stumbling to the ground. Hey, big guy, are you all right? Mikey asks as he moves to his downed friend. They hurt Slash! Make these freaks pay! Hobbs shouts at Herman, and the crab nods. Roger that! A rocket launcher pops out of the side of his dumpster and begins to open fire. The explosions slam into Bebop and Rocksteady, tossing the pair into a nearby building. Quick, while they're down! Leo shouts, and he leaps in with his blades, slashing into the arm of the already recovering Rocksteady. What do you mean down? He asks as he kicks out, knocking Leonardo away. We were just resting! He jokes, and Bebop gets up, grabbing a brick and throwing it at Splinter. Raph leaps forward, knocking Splinter out of the way at the last second, with Rocksteady getting ready to use his hammer again. But Mikey leaps up, grabbing the hammer. Hurry! I got his hammer! He shouts, and the rhino swings him around, tossing the turtle into Leonardo. Raphael then moves over to his brothers, making sure that they're okay, and Rocksteady chuckles as he stomps down. Watch the others, Bebop! I'll take care of this last green dweeb before he runs away. He laughs, and Raph doesn't run, turning to the massive rhino, raising a sigh. Who's running? He asks. But Alopex is there, leaping onto Rocksteady's head, slashing at him with her claws. Rabies! Rabies! He shouts out, and Bebop rushes to his friend's aid, raising his chainsaw over his head. But a blast from Angel's cannon takes out the weapon. Hey, Alopex! Raph! I got this, porker! She says as she launches her grappling hook, the hook slipping into Bebop's nose, and she begins to drag him forward, grabbing him by the throat and using her taser gauntlets. Please, stop! Don't you know I'm ticklish? Bebop says with a laugh, reaching out, grabbing her by the arm, and throwing her into the air. Angel sails through the air, but manages to land easily on a nearby rooftop. Damn it! She snaps. Rocksteady has both Raph and Alopex in his grasp now, turning and throwing both mutants into the air, slamming them into the rooftop pigeon coop, causing them to fall to the ground. Both tangled up within the chicken wire and close to one another. So, this is, yeah, awkward, Alopex says with an embarrassed smile. But back over with the battle, Herman continues to battle, with the massive mutants trying to rip apart his dumpster. Hob moves in to join with the fight, but Splinter orders Mondo to stay back as he looks up at a nearby electrical transformer and the puddles around Bebop and Rocksteady. I think a more indirect approach is required for these two. We must draw attention to you, he says to the Gecko, and Mondo nods. Got it, dude! You know, you got a serious sneak streak in you, Gramps. Back over on the rooftop, Raph and Alopex are trying to get themselves free of the chicken wire, while taking the moment to talk about how Raph is sorry. if he screwed things up with her in Northampton. You didn't screw things up, you just made a mistake, she tells him. We'll worry about this later though. Right now we have to figure out how to get out of this wire. At that moment, a friendly voice says hi. Hi, Pete says as he appears over them, scaring both Raph and Alopex. I'm Pete, and I'm hiding with my pals here. You guys are wearing my old house. Need some help? He says with a big smile. Down below, though, Hob is slammed into the wall and stunned, with Rocksteady lifting him up, preparing to deliver the killing blow. Do not do it, Splinter calls out, with both Bebop and Rocksteady turning, surprised to see the old rat facing them alone. Splinter moves fast, slamming his staff into Rocksteady's throat, dropping him to the ground. Moving like lightning, he leaps up, cracking Bebop across the face, palm to Bebop's nose, kick to Rocksteady's throat. The massive mutants are staggered, surprised by the violence of Splinter's attacks. Distracted, they don't see Mondo Gecko leaping onto the Transformer over their heads. Rocksteady moves, grabbing Herman's dumpster, lifting it into the air and throwing it at Splinter, but the rat easily dodges it, dropping into his combat stance in a puddle. Yo, he ain't so fast! Must have broken his hip! Rocksteady laughs, but what they aren't aware is they are now also standing in the puddle. Mondo leaps down with a cut electrical wire. Cowabunga! He shouts, dropping the wire into the puddle and skateboarding away. The shock from the electrical wire hits the massive mutants, dropping them to the ground, charred. The group of heroes then gather together, making sure that everyone is okay after the fight. Ha! We did it! We actually took him down! Hob says with glee as he shakes Splinter's hand. Dream on, catgut! Bebop calls, and both Hob and Splinter turn in surprise. Are you freaking kidding me? The cat whispers, and the two mutants begin to climb to their feet, prepared to continue the fight. But Hob looks over his shoulder at Herman. Herman, bring the noise, he orders, and the crab nods, firing everything he has from the dumpster. The barrage of missiles, the heavy rounds, they pound into the building around Bebop and Rocksteady, and when the guns go quiet, the two are surprised. You stupid lobster miss! Rocksteady chuckles and Herman smiles. Negative. This crab never misses, he says, and the building begins to fall around them, tumbling down on Bebop and Rocksteady, literally burying them. Everyone begins to congratulate each other, with Pete apologizing to Hob for bringing the mutants to them, believing that he was recruiting for their army. It's all good, Bird Brain. Right idea. Crappy execution, Hob says as he pats the pigeon. And with everyone together, they all head off into the city. But it doesn't take long for Bebop and Rocksteady to pull themselves free of the building. Hey, remember that idea you had about not telling Karai anything if this plan didn't work out? Rocksteady asks as he throws an arm around Bebop. Best damn idea you ever had. And they both chuckle at the fight that they just had, heading off into the city. Meanwhile, at the base of the Foot Clan, Shredder and his minions prepare for an attack as Metalhead stands before them and Donatello's voice comes out of the robot. What is it that you seek? Shredder asks. I need your help, Donnie tells him, explaining that he needs the Foot Clan's help to defeat Krang. And what do you know of General Krang? Shredder demands. Donnie sighs as he pilots the Metalhead from Harold's lab. Enough to know that the fate of the world depends on the Foot Clan. And there you have it, guys. We are done with volume number 10, and Donatello's betrayal is now in the forefront. But trust me, you need to see what happens next time with the Turtles, because this is the first big moment that I've been building up to. Stick around, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know which turtle is your favorite, and I'll see you next time right here.